Good morning, everyone. As a coalition leader, I am so pleased to see our local and national partners come together to address human trafficking in Los Angeles. I have lived in Los Angeles for 10 years, and I love the area's ethnic diversity, its economic significance, and the fact that I can take a bus or a train, a cruise, a flight to anywhere in the world just minutes from where I live. Yet, sadly, these are the same conditions that also make Los Angeles a top destination for human trafficking. Because Los Angeles is a known hub for human trafficking, it's critical that our city and county provide leadership in the anti-slavery movement. I'm so grateful for the leadership and commitment of Supervisors Don Kanabe and Mark Ridley-Thomas for setting high standards in the county and in their districts to protect victims, especially children, who are preyed upon by human traffickers. I'm also grateful for our city leaders, Mayor Garcetti, Council President Wesson, and Councilwoman Martinez, for listening to the concerns of their community and to ensure that critical services are there for survivors of human trafficking. The political will of Los Angeles today to fight human trafficking is at an inflection point. We are joining forces like never before to develop a countywide protocol and end trafficking in our neighborhoods. Now, in the last year alone, nearly 400 survivors of human trafficking have walked through CAST doors, needing an array of support. These children, these women, and men have been forced into situations of unimaginable bondage and suffering. Right here in Los Angeles, in our own backyard, where our own children go to school and play in parks. The message on the billboards today is get help to get out. I did. To a human trafficking survivor, what exactly does help mean? Out of the thousands of survivors whom CAST has helped, I will share just a couple of journeys, changing names, of course, to protect their identities. I hope they will serve as an inspiration for those who are still enslaved today, as well as to those working on their behalf in our region. So for Nicole, getting help means having someone to literally sit on the witness stand with her during a criminal trial. You see, Nicole grew up in a port city here in Los Angeles. When she was just a teenager, she met a man in a park who offered her a job as a babysitter. When they met again, he raped her and forced her on the street, where he sold her time after time. Now, Nicole tried to escape many times. Each time she was caught, humiliated, and tortured. The trafficker branded Nicole by tattooing his name right on her face. With the help of a Good Samaritan and law enforcement, Nicole escaped to CAST, where we're now empowering her to regain her life. This summer, Nicole courageously testified against her trafficker. The trafficker's attorney was particularly aggressive, and thankfully our case managers were there to help Nicole every step of the way, even sitting with her right on the witness stand. As a result of Nicole's courage, the trafficker just last week was sentenced to 47 years in prison. Now, for Alicia, getting help actually means to clear a path for her to fulfill her dreams. Alicia grew up in an unstable home and faced chronic homelessness in South Los Angeles. When she was just 13, an older woman pretended to help her by offering her a hotel to sleep in. But instead of helping her, this woman brought in men to the hotel and sold Alicia every day, several times a day. For the next 12 years, Alicia was forced to sell sex by dozens of traffickers, so many that she couldn't remember. She often went without food and was allowed to sleep just 2 to 3 hours a day. In her 20s, Alicia escaped and found a new life, building friendships in a faith-based community. She even became an honor student and went on to become a licensed medical technician. Alicia wants so much to continue her life, to be successful, but she has over 20 arrests on her on her background and because she was exploited in the sex industry. So our attorneys at CAST are getting these convictions dismissed so that Alicia no longer faces these barriers to a good life, to employment, and can finally pursue her dream in the medical field. And last, for David, getting help means reuniting with his family. You see, David grew up in a gang-infested neighborhood in Honduras. For several years, the local gang tried to recruit him by force. When he was only 15 years old, David was walking with one of his female friends to school, and a gang attacked them. They beat David up, and they raped his friend right in front of him. Now, as you can imagine, David feared for his life and begged his mom, who was here in Los Angeles, to send for him. He fled Honduras only to be trafficked in Mexico by armed men who forced him to smuggle a backpack with drugs across the border. But at the border, David escaped and reported what happened to him to federal authorities. David is now in Los Angeles, where CAST connected him with a mental health professional to address his recurring nightmares. He has been reunited with his mom and is doing well in high school, where he's a student leader. Last fall, CAST successfully applied for David's T visa, which allowed him to stay with his family here in Los Angeles. David hopes one day to become a child psychologist. So, the takeaway from today is that these young women and men are somebody's sons and daughters. As a community, we need to look out for them. When they reach out for help, we need to be there with a safe home, help with legal proceedings, life skills, and opportunities. Through these important partnerships that you see here today, we are committed to bringing survivors a place where they're no longer enslaved, but can now contribute to the rich diversity and social fabric that we love about Los Angeles. This is what CAST is about, transforming lives and bringing hope to seemingly hopeless situations. This year, in LA alone, we've helped 50% more survivors regain their freedom and their dignity. These survivors are now on a new path to restoration and healing, but there's so much more to be done. That's why I'm so grateful to Clear Channel and our national partner Polaris that these billboards are going up throughout the greater LA area. From Santa Monica to San Gabriel, from San Fernando Valley to Koreatown, to Compton, to Long Beach. CAST has served victims in every area of these cities. Today, together with our partners, including the public, we're pledging to help even more people reclaim their freedom.